Hello, my name is Mark. I just passed the Part 107 FFA Remote Pilot Exam, the SUAS exam, and we'll talk about how long it took to study. And I scored an 83, and let's get into that. Okay, why I took the course. First of all, frankly, the reason I selected this course is it is the course that the other three pilots at my company had taken to pass the test. So I figured it's good enough for them. It's good enough for me. So I didn't even look at anything else. I just went. Now because I wasn't already on the team, I went out, I purchased this with my own money. Now I wasn't able to study as hard as I probably would like to because I got like a 13-hour day. The ancillary stuff that he tells you to go download and read and whatnot, by he, I mean Greg. I didn't do any of that. I'm not saying that's a good way to go. So I purchased the course. I purchased this book, which is the identical book that was on the desk when I took the test. I had somebody else tell me they took the test and they had just a little small book they gave him. This book was the identical book on the desk when I went in there. Now, number two, I don't think you can expect this, but the questions that had chart information on them on my test, those were already zoomed into the area that you needed to look at, and it's very easy to find what you wanted to look at. I went down there with thinking I'm going to use their book and a magnifying glass and all that, because I was having trouble studying on my own, finding all that stuff. Because in the course, you have to zoom in. Well, on my test, that was already zoomed in, and the chart questions were easy as far as locating what you needed to know to answer the question. If you don't know the information, you don't know the information. But it was easy to find the stuff. I can't guarantee your tests will be that way. I don't know if they're all the same depending on the center you go to. Anyway, and then another thing I was worried about was the flight space, had the circles, whether it's magenta or dotted magenta. That's all in the legend, so you don't need to worry about that too much. So I did buy that book, and that was nice to get familiar with it. But you could have done it just with the PDF that Pilot Institute gives you. You did not need to buy that book. I just chose to do that on my own account. I also purchased this book, which Greg mentioned, and I got to be honest with you, I haven't even opened the cover. I have it. If I need further study, maybe I can. So I also fly flight simulators. Some of this knowledge of navigation in the charts I had a little bit of. So, if you're strapped for money, I bought this book on, it's like 20 bucks, 25 bucks. I think this one was used, if I remember correctly, used on eBay or something. I don't even remember where I bought it. But you don't need it. I didn't need it, never even opened it. I do suggest the first one that I showed you, I do suggest you get that book. Or if you can't afford it, get really familiar with the PDF that they give you. Now, I got to say, there's enough information in the Pilot Institute downloads that they give you after each chapter. You can pass this test without anything outside of what is contained in the course. I believe that, and that's what I did. I didn't do anything extra. I went on there. I was a little bit worried about the weather and the charts. I went on YouTube and started looking at some other stuff to try to supplement. And frankly, some of it was just overworded and confusing. So I went right back to just the course. You only need the course. I really think you only need the course and the things that he suggests that you look at. So I studied for approximately a month, but not hard. And I was studying a little bit at work, which that's okay because I'm taking this test for work. I'm going to use it for work, so I don't feel like I was cheating company time or anything, because it's company's benefits. They need pilots on the weekend. So I studied let's say I studied for a month, nothing big. I only studied the course. I did listen to the audio files a little bit that you download after each chapter. That's kind of nice, because I drive a lot. I listen to some of that in the car. But you don't need to go crazy with YouTube videos. And I want to warn you one thing. I don't have the book in front of me, but I bought a book on Amazon, and it includes a QR code to download a PDF with 1,000 questions in it. I never looked at the book that much because you're sitting there with a book, and the PDF was on my phone, and I could look at it whenever I wanted on my phone. And by the time I got to question 20, 4 of them were wrong. And I even went back and looked them up. Are you sure you're right? And I looked it up, and 4 of their answers were wrong. Give you an example. The question was about the maximum miles per hour, and it said 87 miles an hour. Well, it's not 87 miles an hour. It's 100 miles an hour or 87 knot. Now, they gave the wrong answer to that question, which is how the question is asked on the test to confuse you. So you'd have got that wrong hands down. So I scrapped that. and I went to return it on Amazon, and what it come back is an instantaneous return, and it says you don't need to send the book back. No harm, no foul. Never looked at the book again. If anybody's interested, hit the comment and I'll send you a picture of the screen where you can see what I'm talking about. But in that case, I purchased a book that if you studied that book, you would have been in trouble, I think. All right, so test day surprise. I didn't really have a lot of surprises because I've probably taken 10 industry tests that are similar in the IT realm. So you get down there and they're going to have you put all your stuff in a locker. Yeah, I think I was allowed to take the magnifying glass that I brought. I didn't bring a ruler, but you could bring one. But when I got to the desk, everything was nicely arranged. They had the book that you need to look up in the charts. They had several sheets of paper. I think there was a calculator. I never needed that. I brought my own magnifying glass. I never used that. Trying to think of anything else. Anyway, the place was quiet. There was a fan running, but probably better. It didn't, if anybody's fidgeting or doing anything, the fan kind of drowned that noise out where I wouldn't have heard it. So the test center was clean. It was just like a cube you might have at work. You're surrounded. I couldn't see anybody else. I didn't really notice anybody else in there. But even though I've taken those tests a lot in the past, like I said, probably 10, I'm not sure. Cisco, Microsoft, CompTIA, all that kind of stuff. I was really nervous. My hands were shaking. I don't know why. And even when I was done, I had time. You think, oh, I'm done, I passed, I'd be relaxed. I was buzzing the rest of the day. I was all nervous. You don't need to be that nervous. I don't know why I was. I've taken tests in the past. I don't have no idea why I got so nervous. So you don't need to be. I'm not trying to scare you. The test was nothing to be surprising. The test on the computer was simple. There was a short quiz at the beginning that's asking you really simple questions that anybody would be able to answer. It's not a test of the knowledge. It's so that you get used to clicking the radio buttons and whatnot. There were a couple places where I wasn't actually sure what to click on next, but I figured it out. That could be a little better, but not a big deal. And then at the end, there's a survey you got to take. You may be able to opt out of it. I don't remember, but you're like, I want to know if I passed or not. I don't want to sit here and take a survey, but anyway, I did it. And another thing is I saw several of the newer content that I'd seen, a video here and there, stating that the new test is 65 questions, not 60. I did get 65 questions, and there were at least 3 questions on the test. I don't remember any of them at the time, but there were at least 3 questions on the test that I'd never even heard anything like that in the course. And I actually didn't know the answer because all 3 answers kind of sounded, it was about weight distribution. Now in the course, everything is like, any question on weight's going to be about center of gravity. Well, that wasn't it. It was like, do you put 10% aft or forward? It was a specific question that I didn't know the answer to. Maybe logically I would have been able to answer it if I wasn't so nervous. But again, you don't need to be nothing scared or nerve-wracking. I did that to myself. The test was pretty straightforward. And I got to tell you, I don't want to make you like be lenient or anything, but if the test was any easier, it would be ineffective. It wouldn't even matter that you were taking the test. Of all the tests I've ever taken in IT that were similar, and they're given by a similar type of institute where they take your stuff and you're watched on video and all that good stuff, right? I've never taken one. I know some people that have taken them at home online, and you have to put video cameras and there's a proxy watching you. I've never done that. This test does not have a remote option. All the tests I've taken were in person at a center, and you're on video the entire time you're in that test. It's not intimidating or anything. I was used to it. I expected it. So nothing surprising at all. The place was clean. Everybody was friendly. Stuff was laid out on the desk. The test was like I expected. The only surprise wasn't really a surprise because I kind of knew about it. It was 65 questions and not 60. All right, let's sum it up. Even with the 5 extra questions, no big deal. Really busy schedule. I work 4 10-hour days a week, plus 2 hours a day commuting, and then you add lunch. From the time I get up to the time I get back home, it's over 13 hours. So I'm pretty busy. I was able to study a little bit each night. I studied some at work, which is okay because this was for work. I don't suggest you listen to the course in the car where you can't see it. That's harder to pay attention. But I did that, but I redid them anyway, so it was just redundant. And then at the end of the chapters, I downloaded those audio files and listened to those in the car as well, just for a little bit extra, instead of listening to music or irrelevant podcasts, I listened to those audio tracks you can download. So I ended up passing with an 83. I wanted to get a higher score, but 70s passing, I got 83. That's not bad. And even 83 is equal to about a B minus. I missed 9 questions. And like I said, at least 3 of them were something that I'd never even heard of. So I missed 9 questions. I wasn't too happy about that. I would have liked to got a better score. But all that matters is that you pass, because nobody's privy to that information except you. Anyway, got an 83. I'm done. I'm flying professionally. By my company's policy, since I don't have an ID number yet, I can't solo, so I still got to have a pilot in charge with me, just like you did if you didn't have the 107. The FAA regulation, I can fly because I have the temporary cert, but my company's regulation requires me to have the complete license number and all that before I can solo. If you're flying at work, check all that information out and see what policies your company might have. But anyway, I passed this test fairly easily with a decent score, with a moderate amount of studying, and all I really studied was that right there. Let's see, right there. The Pilot Institute, Part 107 Made Easy. I actually purchased that course and got a bundle with another course. This is the one you need. Take it. You can pass the test with the course only. Don't skip downloading and looking at what he tells you. And there's a lot of stuff you can download directly from the course content at the end of each chapter. Do that stuff, you'll be fine. Take the test, you'll pass it just like I did. Good luck.